Welcome back to the channel. We're out at Dirty Diesel's, long time, I know guys. And we're doing something a little bit outside Josh's norm, outside his wheelhouse, but he was up for the challenge, he wanted to do it. I mean, he's worked with airlift performance before with big trucks. Yep, so.
We'll do it, some air ride.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to bag our Scat Pack.
I used to actually have a bunch of low cars back in the day.
I believe that.
Back in the day.
You're still into BMWs and German engineering.
This is true.
Just to let you guys know, I am a fan of BMWs myself, but Mopar all the way. Mopar. You just got done driving the Scat Pack and you said, man, that car is a lot of fun to drive.
It is. It's definitely fun. And then I said, if it were me, I would get a German sports car.
Yeah, he did say that. He did say that, guys. All right, so what do we got here? We're doing a quick unboxing. So
yeah, we've got, this is the rear kit, I believe. I think I just unboxed the fronts. Yeah, this is definitely rear shocks and bags, mounts, all that good stuff.
The front struts. Yeah, we're replacing the whole strut assembly. We're not skipping out. We never do, right, Josh?
No, we don't mess around. We get the good.
Got everything unboxed. We didn't want to waste any time and make you guys wait any longer. Josh is going to go over all the components with this kit. Josh actually ordered this kit. He spec'd it out.
So, with some help from my buddy Andrew at Open Road Tuning, we got this kit hooked up. We've got our airlift performance front struts here, rear shocks and rear bags with all the mounts and hardware. Then we've got our dual Viair 444 black compressors, and then we went with the Airlift 3H management for this, which is going to be a height-based management versus a pressure-based management. So the height-based management is going to be a lot nicer, you know, for accurate ride heights versus a pressure-based system. It's a really nice kit. So
it's constantly sensing your ride.
Constantly senses the ride height. Yeah, it's going to have ride height sensors on all four corners. It'll, you know the ride height all the time.
So when you get a big passenger in there like myself,
yeah, when the two of us get in there, it'll lift itself up. But what's nice to the airlift performance stuff is the car's going to handle just as well, if not better, than it does now. So it's going to be pretty legit setup, and it's going to be able to drop super low.
It's going to look good slammed.
Yeah,
these Chargers look awesome
look cool.
Slammed.
It's definitely going to need some wheels to.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on the wheels, guys.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge.
We got to go wider in the rear too, just
definitely,
a little bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how we're going to install the compressor and compressors, tank management, all that. That's going to be the tricky part here. Struts should be super easy to just toss in the car.
This looks like we went with a 1/4-inch airline. All your wiring, everything's here, man. Everything comes with the kit.
Yeah, it's all 1/4-inch.
And we'll have a list of everything with this kit, with this installation in the video description, so you guys will know moving forward. If you want to get it through Josh.
Yeah, we'll be glad to take care of this stuff. So we do more than just trucks.
We do, guys.
We'll
Proof.
All the chargers.
Yeah. Every charger. Bring all the chargers here to Josh.
Bring it in, we'll drop it down.
This isn't going to be a full-blown tutorial, but what we're going to do is give you updates along the way. Like when we decide how we're going to mount something and the way we're going to install something, any tips, tricks, like we always do with Beast projects, we'll let you know about it.
We'll just spin that back on a little bit. You get to whack with the hammer now. There it is. There's that one. We have a lot of room on brake lines, which is nice.
Wow, that was hard.
About 6 minutes. haven't called him. I'll call him now before I forget.
That might be enough.
Let's just do that. Let me just, I'm just gonna plant it tight so it doesn't fall. Sliding this out is gonna be a pain in the ass. Perfect. That should be enough. Yeah, that should go back up nice and easy. There it goes.
I'm gonna give you a little update before we get to the back.
Okay, so we got the front struts in, got the leader lines attached here. Front strut install was super, super easy. Cut the little tabs on the, like the cage nuts for the upper control arms, pretty easy to do. The rear we struggled with a little bit. Have a pretty hard to get to bolt up in there that you can't even see.
It's up in there. You gotta put it on by hand. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
But it's done.
Yes.
We struggled for probably half an hour and now we're done.
And we've actually, I saw videos on YouTube where the guys didn't put this top plate on. You have to put that on there. It belongs on there. If you don't do that, you'll damage your bag.
Definitely important, and we put them on, and there's no clearance issues on this car at least. The rear's pretty much done. We just got to start on the height sensors and management now.
Bolt at the bottom of the bag in first, like the instructions say to do. Some people will put this one in first because it's that much of a pain in the butt, this top bolt. But we followed the instructions. We were able to do it. As you can see, Josh disconnected the sway bar so we can have a little bit more room and access to get in there. Another thing too, when Josh was building the bags back here, there's Teflon tape or thread sealer on the actual connections. We added additional thread sealing on that just for extra protection. We're gonna put the rear shocks in. Another thing I forgot to mention, everything was retorqued to spec as per Airlift Performance. Got everything all tightened back up, torqued, and then we have our shocks in. Now we're gonna start installing the sensors. We're not doing this in any particular order, guys. We just feel like this might be the best next step for us to do. Rods. We'll go over some tips with these two, the way you want them lined up, how you want the rods lined up.
You know, once we find the tips.
Yeah, once we find them. We'll find them though. That's what we do.
The tips.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you have it.
Seems like everybody online did the 3P too.
It's a lot easier.
Like, it's a lot cheaper and easier.
So we're gonna try to find the center height in between the lowest droop and the highest. Does that make sense? For the sensors. So we raised it to about 16 3/4 from here to the top of the fender line, thinking that might be close to ride height, but it might not be. But we got some play with the sensors, and that's where we're going to install it, and we'll show you how we do that. Just the following day, we actually end up taking the rear shocks out again to install the rear sensors, and we're going to go over some details with these sensors that you need to take into consideration when you're installing them.
We got the height sensors installed. Pretty simple. The rear was a little bit of a challenge. We ended up just mounting them here into the shock tower and then drilling and tapping the control arm like we did in the front. The sensors, it's important that you get them adjusted so at ride height the arm is about level, which we may have to tweak these rods a little bit, but I think we're pretty close. Another thing to note, there's a little extrusion on the sensor which you can't see, but you do have to pull the sensor apart and make sure that extrusion is facing the plug at you know, the midway through its travel, so the sensor can calibrate right, I guess is why. But we got that all taken care of on this, so we should be good.
And it's pretty simple. You can just swap the arm and I guess take it off.
It's just three screws. They come right off.
Drilled and tapped into the lower control arm. Pretty clean. I've seen a lot of installs on the interwebs where they they actually take a strap mount to the sway bar here, and just really doesn't look good. This is definitely, this looks like a professional job. This looks really good. Dirty Diesels, elite truck and off-road outfitters.
Only professional jobs.
When we were installing the sensors, we also, we did it at full droop, and then we watched the rod for the sensor while we pushed the wheel, the hub up, all the way up, as far as it could possibly go, to make sure it wasn't making contact with anything like the sway bar and the wheel and the tire, and we're good to go back here. We removed the rear wheel liners to give us more access to see where we can mount it. That is the best spot for these Dodge Chargers. There's no other spot. At least no other spot that wouldn't make contact with this rod going up and down. It's tight. You got some tight clearances in there. It's good that we have this off. We're going to keep it off for the time being because we're getting ready to run the air lines from the front to the rear of the car along with the sensor wires. Then we got to figure out where we're going to run everything into the trunk. Josh has got most of this all done. He's making a custom bracket for the air management, which is outside drying right now. It's already made. We got the lines run with the sensors. We did put on the back of the sensors, there's a little plate. We put these plates on. Make sure you use that because you're never going to be able to get the plug in. Got that ran all nice underneath here. Got these nice little clamps. Goes underneath this little splash panel. And then we drilled a 1/2 inch hole, right, Josh?
I think a 3/4 inch.
3/4 inch hole into the trunk, right in the middle, which is going to come up right underneath the tank. It's going to look very nice. It's very clean, guys. Very clean. Show you on this side. For the feeder lines, we ran the feeder lines right behind this panel here. We only had to pop this push clip right here to get everything fed behind there, and it comes down very nicely underneath here, so it's not going to get hit on the frame or anything like that. I don't know how low or if this is even going to sit on the frame. I don't think so, but in case it did, it's not going to sit on our sensor lines and our air lines. And these sensor lines, they are specific and they're labeled, so as you can see right there. And we also labeled the air lines because that's specific too. What do you say about that, Ryan?
Let's go. It's a lot of gas. That's what it is.
It's a lot. It's a lot, guys. I don't know how people do this in their driveway. I really don't. No wonder why it would take 2 weeks to do this install in your driveway.
Yeah, or suicide.
But we're doing a really good job. I mean, this is good. This looks very, very good. I'm very, very happy with the way this install is going thus far. And if you guys are interested in any type of airlift performance products, hit up Josh, Elite Truck and Off-Road Outfitters, Dirty Diesels. He'll get you set up. If you want him to install it, whether it's a Charger, truck, or whatever, Josh will get you hooked up.
Yeah, we'll air ride all this stuff.
Yeah, air ride everything. Drilled another hole right there. That's where the airlines are actually going to come up from underneath this little cover. And this thing's made out of like hard fiberglass, so you can mount it. You can mount your stuff to this. That's nice. Rust only on truck bed road grade. Looks like it's powder coated. There's where the air management is going to mount to it. You're not even going to see the lines coming up from underneath.
And we'll just snake them around.
Yeah,
and up
snake
and
around. Yeah, it's going to look good.
We should probably mount this now.
These self-tappers here on these guys, they're bolted down. Got the filters on now, guys, as you can see, and man, that's going to be a perfect fit. getting ready to put the rear trunk tray back in. All the lines and the wiring through a loom to make it even tighter of a fit in there. And then we're just gonna run, this is the main harness going to your air management. We're gonna run it through the side and it's gonna go across and plug right up in. Josh is cutting all the lines to length. And he's gonna put them in their proper ports.
Yep.
On the air management. Instructions are really good. They're color and pretty detailed. Hey Cody, will you show us the engine bay?
It's up there.
Cody, can you show us the roof?
After a lot of trial and error, all the sensors are in, the whole system's calibrated, everything is working like it's supposed to. You're just gonna have to be really, really patient when installing these. Make sure your battery has a full charge. You might even want to start the car when you're doing the calibration. Just a little tip. But wrapping up here, gonna put the wheel liners back in. Josh has just tightened all the sensors up and got a few things to button up in the trunk. I gotta finish running the USB cable to the front of the car. We're getting there.
So close.
Getting there.
So close.
Can't wait to take a shower.
There you have it. Scat Pack is bagged. Sorry for the abrupt ending, but it got to the point where Josh and I just wanted to knock it out, so we sort of tag teamed a couple different things at the end of the installation. But we're not done. We're actually gonna have to go back because, well, I couldn't resist. I added a few other things that you guys are gonna really like. But that's gonna be in the next video. There's our 4-gallon tank, our dual via air compressors, our airlift air management manifold, and then inside here is all of our wiring. This is gonna be, you're not gonna see any of this in the future. We're gonna work on cleaning this up. But there you have it, guys. So there's that. I actually ran the controller, the USB controller wire, by pulling up the seat, the rear seat. To pull up this rear seat, you're just gonna pull really hard up towards the front of here and back at the same time. This seat will come right out. Pull this trim panel, this panel, and then the door sill, pull that panel. The carpet has some clips in it along the way. You're just gonna use a panel popper to pop those clips, hit the wire nicely down in there. You actually have a main wire harness that comes along here as well, so I just ran it along that, made it nice and neat. Ran it all the way to the front. Here's this door sill, I told you we popped that. Underneath the carpet towards the back, brought it out right there for now, but we have another Pro Clip USA mount just for our airlift controller, and we're gonna be installing that in the next video as well. Very simple, probably gonna mount, I haven't decided if I'm gonna keep the phone here and mount the phone up there or mount the airlift controller right there, but I'm gonna finally hide this wire. I'm gonna pull this up, run the cell phone wire underneath, and this is going to be hidden even better too. It's going to be nice and clean, going to have access to it rather than having this flop around. Right now I'm normally just keeping it inside there. Putting on some new meats in the back, and there's something else pretty big that's going to happen to the car in the next video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're stopping by for the first time, make sure you smash, tap, do something to that subscribe button. Make sure you get your Amsoil from me, beastsynthetics.com. Make sure you check out allbeastprojects.com for our merch. Important discount information on our partners page, which is on the website. Oh, by the way, if you want to get an airlift suspension installed, whether it's a car, truck, or whatever, hit up Josh from Dirty Diesels. We had a blast doing this install. We want to do it again. I'm gonna come back. I want to do this again. We had a good time. It was a good learning lesson for both of us, and I want to do it again. And he definitely wants to do it again, and he wants to do some stuff to the trunk. That trunk's not going to be left that way. He wants to do more to the trunk. All right, I'll stop talking. We'll see you on the next upload.